Hello again, everyone, into another video. I know this is the second video today, but yeah, we get like lots of stuff to talk about. So I posted a video earlier, like top teams in Master League. Make sure to watch it. It's the one before this, and I will be suggesting it as the video to watch by the end of this video. So I'm gonna be talking about the Holiday Cup, like the Ultra League version, which we will get December 29th, and Holiday Cup and Ultra League similar to Great League. You can only use these types: Flying Grass, Ghost, Normal, Electric, and Ice. And if you can notice something, Ice does super effective to go to Grass and Flyers and take a neutral from everything else, while Ghost does neutral to almost everything. Super effective to Ghost, resisted by Normal. Electric is resisted by Grass, super effective to Flyers. So technically Ice Pokemon tend to be the most dominant type here, because you do more super effective damage to other types the most. And you know what, let's just go and talk about the main Pokemons, the anti-meta stuff, and the top teams that most likely everyone will be using. So I divide them into, I don't know what am I supposed to divide them into, so let's to be like, I was trying to find, like, you know, there is like usually like I divide them into types, but here the difference is that dividing them into types is not enough. Why? Because in Ultra League we have a very dominant Pokemon called Giratina, named Giratina Altered, and it's just so dominant. Like Ghost aren't usually good in Holiday Cup, but Giratina is just so freaking good in this format, because Giratina is just a very dominant Pokemon. And Kyurem get a legacy move, which is a better version of Icy Wind, which is crazy good, which make a solid duo to put them both together in one team. But again, stuff like the Ice Pokemons, which had countered the Dragons, exist, but doesn't Kyurem resist Ice? So that's why Kyurem is good. You beat Giratina Altered if they have Shadow Claw, and you take neutral from Ice, while you do neutral Dragon Breath damage. But Dragon Breath damage is basically the best fast move in this cup. So the Ice, I believe Aurorus is the best Pokemon on PvPoke, but Giratina Altered is the best Pokemon overall. Kyurem is a solid dragon that we can use. So those Pokemons here on the left are like great Pokemons to use, because they either have a solid charge move / fast move, or they beat the top stuff, or they just have crazy good bulk. Like as an example, Miltank has similar bulk to Giratina Origin, and it takes a double resist Shadow Claw. So if they have Shadow Claw, you can have Rollout and Ice Beam and do neutral fast move damage and super effective charge move damage, while you do super effective damage to all the Ice with Rollout. It's a kind of a bad offensive fast move, but hey, super effective is super effective. If it's a super effective, if it's a bad super effective move, that means it's almost as good as a solid neutral fast move, right? Keep that in mind. Double, I believe it's the best fighter in this cup. Goon is the best answer to the meta. I don't think there is anything that hard beat Goon in this cup other than Double maybe. But it's like a close matchup, because if Goon has Energy Lead, Goon can beat Double because it has Cross Chop. So those two are like kind of the best non-legendaries, and the best legendaries are Giratina and Kyurem. Here, about the Ice. Regice is an option to use. Frostlass, if you have a level 51, that goes to 2350. I don't recommend that, but I know some people max it out because they just like Frostlass. Lapras, which is an XL version of Walrein. Walrein is better overall, but Lapras beat Walrein, so that's something. So, like, what do you see? Do you see dragons? Go for Walrein. Do you see Walrein a lot? Go for Lapras. So that's like which one you should decide. Alolan Ninetale is the Ice Pokemon that beats other Ice because it has a charm. But hey, Aurorus has Meteor Beam, which is a solid charge move that can almost one-shot the Alolan Ninetale, and then after that you can just fast move it down. So Alolan Ninetale technically is not the Ice that beats other Ice now. What is it then? Is it Aurorus? No, it's not Aurorus. It's actually Alolan Sandslash. Why? Because it has Gyro Ball, that's super effective to the Ice, and Aurorus takes double super effective from Steel. So you run Gyro Ball on this thing instead of Bulldoze. Why not Bulldoze? I don't think you need Bulldoze. Like, there is no reason to run Bulldoze, to be honest. I could run Gyro Ball and Ice Punch with Shadow Claw or Pyro Snow, up to you. I would rather run Shadow Claw, but I think there might be an argument about running Powder Snow. Obama Snow, I mean, some people have XL Obama Snow, so those people will be using it regardless. And Electric, Universe Stunfisk is a good Electric, but the problem that it doesn't beat the dragons. And in this cup, there is so many eyes, which do super effective to this thing, and it doesn't beat Goon reliably or Double, so why would you bother with using U-Fisk? Other Electric like Magneton or Magnezone are good to beat the ice because one has Mirror Shot, the other one has Magnet Pump. If I have to choose, I would choose Magneton over Magnezone, but hey, Magnezone has Wild Charge, this thing has Discharge. Wild Charge is a much better version of, is a much better of a charge move that does more damage for the same amount of energy. Both are 45 energy. Ampharos, the good thing about Ampharos is that it has like a wide variety of charge moves. You can run Brutal Swing, Thunder Punch, Dragon Pulse, Focus Blast. Focus Blast can one-shot basically Kyurem. Almost. Goon, you one-shot it. You almost one-shot the normals. Brutal Swing does super effective to the Ghost, but you need the Dragon Pulse if you want to run this thing for the Giratina. You can risk not having Dragon Pulse, but then you need 2 anti-dragons. So that's the thing about Ampharos. What about Trevenant, Jellicent, and Drifblim? Well, they aren't bad. They destroy the eyes. By they, I mean just Jellicent. That's it. Jellicent, if I am running it, I will be running Bubble, Ice Beam, Shadow Ball. I know it's not the most ideal charge move, but that's what I would be running, to be honest. Why? I don't want to run Hex. I mean, Hex beat the Giratina if they have Dragon Breath. Hex can almost beat all dragons, but I would, because I tend to run Jellicent in the swap, and in the swap you need Bubble basically. So you don't get walled. Yes, you don't beat any stuff. Most of the stuff you do beat with Hex, but you don't get walled, and that's the main thing about being a safe swap. Now let's move into other stuff that do exist in this cup, but not everyone will be running it. Okay, Double is a meta and an anti-meta. No, this is more codes, yeah, so which mean isn't supposed to be anti-meta. Means could be anything. So Talonflame, a Pokemon that exists, and I believe people like NCK would still run Obstagoon with Talonflame. Even though Talonflame might be bad. I mean, we don't know yet. We haven't seen the meta. But Talonflame might end up being like the best answer to the Goon. Because technically it beats Goon, right? Aerodactyl. I mean, I have a Shadow one. I will be using it 100% because that thing cost me like 500,000 dust. You need a Shadow one though. You do need a Shadow one. Non-Shadow doesn't work. And I'm expecting lots of people to be running Ice Day 1, so that's why I'll be using Aerodactyl. What's Aerodactyl good at? Oh, sorry, I spilled tea. Okay, back to the recording. What's Aerodactyl good at? Good at taking your dust for no reason, because it's literally a bad Pokemon. And I built it just because I wanted to test it out against the Charizard meta, which was a meta in the Ultra League Premier Classic for like literally 2 days. And then this thing became like the most useless Pokemon because Crustle does everything literally better and more reliable. So yeah, a Pokemon like Celesteela is good because Skarmory doesn't reliably beat all the ice unless you run Steel Wing. But there is a Pokemon that does that better called Celesteela. It has a Smackdown, Body Slam, and something else. I don't remember the third move. Is it worth it though? I mean, this is the only time, if you're gonna be ever using it, this is the only time that where you're actually gonna be using it. Is it good? I mean, it's better than Skarmory. Skarmory is like just very overwhelming. Doesn't do enough damage and lose to stuff that it's not supposed to lose. Like lose to Shadow Machamp. Yes, it doesn't exist in this cup, but it loses to Shadow Machamp. Well, like Celesteela, does Celesteela beat Shadow Machamp? No. No, it doesn't, because it has Smackdown. maybe one day it will give us Corviknight. That thing is supposed to beat Shadow Machamp in Ultra League and Great League because it has Drill Pick over Sky Attack. Lantern, it's there because some people have maxed out Lantern. Golem, I mean, I have it here as a Pokemon that can be flexible. You either run Volta Switch or Rock Throw. And you had a wide variety of charge moves. Miltank, we talked about it already. Charizard, another option if you don't want to use Talonflame. Charizard is slightly better at spamming more useful charge moves, stuff that nukes, where Talonflame needs a good setup where like you need to ramp up your charge, your fast move damage first by throwing a flame charge that does nothing, where Blast Burn just nukes everything. Ferrothorn, I like Ferrothorn as an anti-ice Pokemon that also resists the Dragon Breath. So it has a niche use if you can utilize it. I think it's one of the best anti-meta Pokemons. Mandibuzz, just don't use it. There is so many ice Pokemons, and if you have Mandibuzz but it's an ice Pokemon or like something like Aurus, it's not fun. It's not fun. I don't think it also beat Double. I think Double beats that. So if you need an answer to the meta, you either in Goon or Double. Galvantula. Galvantula is here literally because it's one of very few Pokemons that can reliably beat Obstagoon. That's the only use of Galv. If you see though lots of Obstagoons, just run Galvantula. We talked about Ampharos. Pidgeot is a flyer that can be used. Is it good? No. Piloswine, it's an ice Pokemon that has access to Stone Edge. Is that it? And Avalanche. And I think that's it pretty much. Virizion. I have Virizion here as the only Pokemon that can destroy Obstagoon. You destroy it, like, you just farm it all the way down. Other stuff slightly beats it. Even Galv, it's not that dominant of a matchup, but with Virizion you literally farm it all the way down and you don't need to shield anything. Hisuian Avalog, it's the best anti-ice, anti-flyer, so it's an ice that beats other ice and beats the flyers and the grass. So it's a solid typing, but still we haven't seen the meta yet, so if there is lots of obstacles, it's going to be like very risky to run. Beware, it's a Pokemon that you can use. Now, like, those are like the main Pokemons, like those that you can use. Now, I built lots of teams, and hopefully, based on like the stuff I saw and the stuff that people usually run, I will be running this team, basically double wall with Auroras and Giratina altered. Why? I mean, this is kind of an ABB weak to Obstagoon, but I will be running Dragon Breath. I don't want to be that weak to Obstagoon, and I don't run Obstagoon. I think I will be eventually using Obstagoon because it's just so freaking good of a Pokemon in this cup. This cup is literally made for Obstagoon. So, what's the good thing about Aurus? It's the best Pokemon overall. Like, there is nothing that will destroy it. Yes, Obstagoon will do that. But if I can't beat Obstagoon with those, no way my third can do it, right? So if you want to see this team, make sure to check my live stream at twitch.tv/SRLead every day at 3 p.m. Central Time. And I think for the first couple days, I'll be running this one. I'm still walking my double. I think I am like, it's like around 2400 CP now. I'll be using it regardless. Now, this is the team. According to the stuff I am predicting to be meta. What about PvPoke? If you go PvPoke, you choose Obstagoon and it will suggest Aurorus and Giratina. So again, we're back to Giratina. Aurorus being suggested as the best answer to the meta in a blind format, while like the eligible Pokemons are like 300 stuff, 300 plus. Where like usually in a condensed meta, people only run 5 to 15 Pokemons at max. So why Obstagoon double thing? Because Obstagoon almost beats everything, and those two are like the safest two Pokemons in the cup. So if this is the best team, then you should be running this team. Why? Because you just RPS this one. You run Virizion in the lead, which beats Obstagoon and Aurorus. And the other stuff, you just rely on your backline to beat. So if you think Obstagoon is going to be like the most dominant lead, yeah, make a Virizion, just destroy it. You can farm it all the way down. A balanced team that you can use, you know, like if Goon is the meta, why don't we just run 3 answers to Goon? The best answer to Goon is Goon himself and Double and Charm A9. Why Charm A9? I mean, Charm A9 beats the Ice and the Obstagoon and the Dragons. Well, Obstagoon beats Obstagoon if your Obstagoon is stronger than your opposing Obstagoon and you have energy lead, or you just get a boost. You know, like this, how dumb is this Pokemon when like it gets a boost and you just shield through everything. Double as like, you know, a Pokemon that can beat both of those two. I like this team, but again, I don't use Obstagoon, so probably I won't be running it. I have an Ultra League Alolan Ninetale. It's I might end up testing this team eventually, to be honest. Now, okay, we talked about this. Why don't we just run Anti-Goon with the dragons? Because the dragons are like the most oppressive Pokemons because of their access to the Dragon Breath, which is one of the best fast moves in the game, right? Charm used to be the best, but it's not the best anymore. So A9, double dragons. You know, like, we can't run Dragon, like, Giratina double Charm because there is only one Charmer in this cup, which is A9. So how about A9 double dragons? It's a solid team, right? Very creative. Yeah, I came up with it last night before I go sleep. Now, these are like double dragons. What about double weak? This team is double weak to A9, and we have a solid A9 answer, or any ice answer, to be honest. Again, if you see Magnezone, you can replace it with Magneton, depending. Do you see more dragons or do you see more ice? Because Magneton falls off against the dragons because it doesn't have bulk technically. But yeah, this team is solid as long as you don't see A9 lead. Stuff here are fine. Like, I mean, Kyurem just get destroyed by A9, but hopefully you don't see that many A9s. Parisian isn't that bad, but says A9. It's, yes, you take super effective, you do neutral, you outspam them. So somewhere it's not the bad matchup. If you run Sacred Sword, Stone Edge, I mean, you have the chance to threaten that A9 with the Stone Edge, and then like the Sacred Sword can kill it after that. So these are like some balanced team. What about ABB teams? Well, if you want to run double electric, I found out that Alolan Sandslash to be like the best option as a lead to something that beats what beats the electric stuff. So if you are into double electric, if you think that Obstagoon is going to be more common in the back, I think this team is the best team that can handle Obstagoon in the back, because Obstagoon is going to be paired with stuff that beats it, which is technically stuff that lose to A9, so that's where A slash comes in handy, because A slash destroys A9. So that's like the mindset behind that team. Another BBML team, if you like Galvantula and you think that what was the team I suggested? I was like, if you don't have a double wall, I recommend this team as like a hard Obstagoon answer in the lead with two solid Pokemons in the back. Again, Giratina, you're on Dragon Breath because you don't want to lose hard to Obstagoon, because technically Oros gets destroyed by Obstagoon, but Galvantula beats Obstagoon. Dragon Breath Giratina is fine, but it's Obstagoon. Now, Yasser, do you have some stuff that I can have fun with? Well, sure, yeah, you can run this team. How about Celesteela with Double? I mean, here's the thing. If you're watching this video, so the third is always subjective to change. The first two Pokemons are Pokemons that pair up together, like pair up well together. So here's the thing. If you like Celesteela, then Double is the best thing that covers it. But is Piloswine the best third? No. The third is subjective to change based on the stuff you see in the meta. So that's what I always recommend. Like, you don't copy the team as it is. Like, if you like, as an example, if you need Galv, let's go to the first Galv team. What's the first Galv team? Galv, then Aurorus is the second best, and Giratina is also there. So those two, well, Galv with Giratina is a good chord, and the third is up to you. You can literally put Obstagoon, you can put A9, you can have anything you want. But usually, like, the first two Pokemons are like two Pokemon that pair up well together. The third, I mean, if you are into ABC teams, you can just another thing that covers those two together. If you are into ABB teams, you can just have another B to bait out what beats your first B. So yeah, that's like the main mindset behind most of the teams. If you are a Great League Andy who use Trev Walrein in every cup, you can just use Trev Walrein with Lantern. This is a Great League team, but we know lots of people just run Great League teams in Ultra League, so this is like the best team you can get from Great League. And yeah, this is the end of the video. Feel free to check my live stream at twitch.tv/YasserAlid, or might follow me on Twitter at Alid_Yasser. So if you're watching the video, please consider subscribing. 80% of my viewers are non-subs. And if you have any question about any of these teams, leave in the comment section below and I will be glad to answer it. It's the end of the video, and see you in the next one. Peace.